Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for February 7th through 11th, 2022. Well, Mercury is now direct, so we're feeling an impetus to move forward, but Mercury is coming smack dab next week into that third and final conjunction with Pluto. So we're coming up against the wall of Pluto and Capricorn, of the structures of our lives, and whether or not they are vibrationally appropriate for what we're moving into. So we are literally going through a shakeup of our whole energies of our whole life with this Pluto, all these Pluto conjunctions. And we're examining what's left standing after all of this. What in our lives is in alignment with our greater truth? With Jupiter in Pisces, we're having a huge impetus to expand into our spiritual truth, to live a more spiritual life, to express and spend time in spiritual energies. It's very good, very powerful for us right now. A big validation, spiritual validation for supernova souls, and an invitation to be more true to that part of yourself. So it's powerful that that's happening this year, along with all of this kind of destruction of what's not working, right? So now that we're still feeling the energy of the Sun and Saturn together, ever since that new moon in Aquarius. Just after that new moon in Aquarius, the Sun came into that conjunction with Saturn, and we're still feeling this through this week, next couple of days. And this is kind of the spotlight is on our work and our role and our identity in the Aquarian age, right? And it's like, okay, so we've gone all through all this Pluto ego breakdown, right? And then now it's like, okay, so what's left standing? Who are you really, right? And what is your role in this new age? Because the message we're getting right now is like this whole retrograde season. It's like we need this retrograde energy in order to reorient, to be able to make the leap into this new timeline. It's so different than the way we've been living. And so this is the main energy right now is, whoa. There's a whole bunch of gobbledygook distraction energy out there. It's all about trying to distract us from what's really going on, which is spiritual ascension. And so this energy right now is about really putting our marker down in the presence and allowing our whole life to align vibrationally with the new that's coming in, and we talked about this like a whole different way of creating and co-creating to be able to move into this new timeline. So there's a lot of that energy of validation coming right now for supernova souls, like this powerful realization of how well you've been prepared for this time and how exciting it is to be alive on Earth as a soul, conscious and aware of itself as spiritual essence in a body. And kind of this Jupiter and Pisces expanding into these energies and being like, okay, yeah, no, like I can't go back to living a small, confined life where I'm pretending that I'm only part of what I am. That's not going to work anymore. We've gone to that point of no return. And so we've got to use this time wisely of reorientation. And now Jupiter's interesting because we have a beautiful sextile with Mars and Jupiter that's been happening. This is Mars, our action planet in Capricorn, wanting to move and build, wanting to get to work and say, come on, well, let's do something then, right? In sextile to Jupiter, it's a very sweet energy of that expansion into spirituality and spiritual energies and the connection, a feeling of connection and community. And so it's like, let's get together on expanding into our greater spiritual destiny and purpose. Because I talk about how you can't really take these things in parts. You got to put the whole picture together, right? And so with the Sun Saturn, our role and who we are in the new age. And then Mars in Capricorn, let's build the new spiritual structures. These are energetic structures. This is the new way of co-creating. It's feeling our way into, and being able to co-create and listen and be reciprocal with the universe instead of the old 3D way of creating. It was like, oh, here I am, and now I'm going to make this thing, and I'm going to make a plan, and I'm going to go do it. And it's like linear, but the linear shit isn't working. Have you found that out? It's very disconcerting, but at the same time, very powerful to push us into getting comfortable with these new energies. At first, it's weird. It's that ego death. You got to let go of everything. But then it's like, what choice do you have? Because the life you've been living is like such a huge lie. I have to say, supernova souls, for the most part, the life that we're living is completely tiny compared to the truth of who we are, right? So you can't reconcile that. You can't make excuses for it. It's like, this is where we're at. We're all the structures of our lives. It's like, it's becoming black and white, and it can't partially be supportive. It's not supportive then, right? And do we deserve that now, finally? Can we feel good enough about ourselves to feel fully supported in what we have to bring, to feel valid, to feel valuable? This is such a powerful shift, right? And this has to do with the energy of, we really want to take advantage of the North Node in exact trine to Pluto in Capricorn, right? And so, of course, Pluto is this breaking down of the structures, but the North Node in Taurus is like, yeah, all of it's got to break down. Everything that's not in alignment with your true wealth. And that's most of our whole life, supernova souls. And here we are backed into the corner, is what it's felt like for the last years. But now we're being asked to step out on stage and find like total confidence in who we are and what we're doing, even though we have no idea. It's really uncomfortable. But the North Node trine Pluto says, it's all right though. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Everything has to break down, but it's okay. You can do it. And the key is this wealth and worth, and standing up and saying, hey, guess what? You know what? All you like weird control, demonic, draconian bullshit energies. And we're all a part of this one whole thing, and we can't stop the ascension, and you can't go without us. Like, supernova souls are absolutely crucial piece of moving forward in this human evolution. And so how about, it's about time that we stand up and own and live that truth. It's time to get a little bit badass and be like, look, this, we don't know where we're going or who we are really, but we are going. And this is the vibration of it. And we're not going to mess around. If it's not in vibration, then it's working against. Right? Everything is about alignment right now. And it's such a beautiful alchemical energy because we've got this flow of the water, which is feeling like getting in the flow of the co-creating and the new energies and getting comfortable and feeling comfortable in who you are as a spiritual being. That's what this Jupiter and Pisces is bringing, and being like, hey, yeah, no, we want to claim out the magic from underneath the rubble of the Piscean age. It's powerful because, so we've got that Mars sextile Jupiter, but then Mars is also in square to Chiron. This is where the tension's coming because Venus is still in square with Chiron. Mars and Venus are coming closer together. On the 14th, they're going to be on the 5th. The 14th is their first exact conjunction. So they've both been in this dance of square with Chiron. The Mars square Chiron is exact today and yesterday, the 6th and 7th. And so we'll be feeling that through this week. And then Venus for the next few days, still at 11 degrees, still in a square with Chiron at 9 degrees. So it's like, this is the tension, the breakdown in the feminine, the breakdown in the masculine, the no more, I'm not playing small. I'm not going to use partial of my energy so I can pay the piper, right? I get it all. It's all mine. And I get to decide where my attention and my energy goes. I'm autonomous. I'm sovereign. But there's a lot of tension around this, right? Because Mars and Capricorn is excited to build in the new, but coming up against the old. And Chiron is like, we're not going to do it the way we did it before, right? We're not going to move forward if it doesn't feel right. This has been so navigating as an intuitive empath being in these fucked up times has just been so difficult. And our whole world is trying to manipulate us away from our intuition. Again, it's like North Node Taurus, our most powerful, valuable resource. And so this is the, that's part of the mystery of these times right now, because Jupiter and Pisces is also opening up that intuition and that spirituality. Be like, oh yeah, no, this is who I am. This and the new energies are supportive of this, except we got to get over that hump of our attachment of how it used to be and that feeling of being lost and the ego death and all the structures of our life falling away. So it's just so dynamic and so intense and so beautiful. But the pressure is on with Mars and Venus square Chiron of like, the energy is like, you can't keep going and bleed away your life force. You cannot keep going and give it yourself away in every transaction. No more codependency, right? This is for the supernova soul, intense empath, and all we've gone through in those narcissist empath relationships, right? And our whole world is set up as a parasitic, narcissistic feeding program, right? And it's like every single level of our life, we're taking our power back, and being like, wait a minute, I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, is this in alignment with my greatest truth? Or am I doing it to make you feel happy and comfortable? It's not going to fly anymore. You can't even pretend. For a long time, you've been staying in your structures, making it work, trying to get through to a certain time where you felt like there was something inside of you saying it will shift. So I'm just going to sit tight and make it through. And it's like, the half-ass shit just ain't going to cut it. And that's this pressure we're at, because these squares with Chiron are coming right when Mercury has already turned direct, but not come out of its retrograde shadow, hasn't become into its third and final Pluto. So it's like we're moving, but we can't move. And these squares with Chiron is like, this is why, because you don't get to sacrifice and compromise yourself anymore. You are a precious, precious vessel of spiritual energy. You have maintained somehow through all of this your precious, direct connection to source, and no one can take that from you. And now it's time to start standing up and living like that, where in every reaction you demand and command respect, because you are this glorious spiritual light. It's not ego. This is different. This comes after the ego breakdown, when all the false shit falls away and all our little attachments and insecurities and anxieties, and then it's like, wait a minute, I'm going to be the pillar of light that I am. And now I can see clearly whether or not you want to eclipse this light or you want to support this light. So a big energy as we get over this hump. This next week is so intense. We're halfway right now. The moon's coming into Taurus, and that means we're halfway to the full moon in Leo. We're not, we haven't felt the 2022 energies. We haven't felt the year of the tiger, but the full moon in Leo is like coming out of the retrograde cave, because that Pluto Mercury will be over. And so this next week is this final squeeze. And it's like, what's left standing in your life? What are you holding on to that's not in alignment? Where are you not able to value yourself? But with that trine with Pluto and North Node, it's like the wheel is turning. The North Node is like, we're going this way. It's got energy and momentum. And it's like, how are we going to get to where we're going? So it's like, we're going. The timeline's happening. And so we got to get in alignment in every moment in this presence with the reality and the understanding of this massive leap that we're making, knowing, we have to let go of a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of items and a bunch of beliefs and conditioning, right? But right now it's this crucial moment where we need to get into alignment with that co-creation energy, that life force energy. And it's saying where everything very clearly in your life, where you're grasping and holding on. And that can only come, the grasping comes from these insecurities, right? Of not being whole and valuing yourself as who you are. But everything right now is showing, it's like this, like I said, an incredible validation spiritually, if you're open to it, if you can be present for supernova souls, giving you the strength to stand up for who you are and for your rights as a sovereign human. And this is our everyday interactions with the world. And so use this time from the 6th to the 16th with this North Node trine Pluto. Very, very powerful. So it's cool because it's like we've got this incredible pressure with square Chiron and Mercury, Pluto, and it's going direct, but it's not going, and but then this trine and just kind of being, we're going to flip over, we're like eventually just, and the next chapter, which I know it feels like we're going to be stuck here in this retrograde cave forever, but it's going to shift. And the next chapter is all the messages about working together, because Venus and Mars coming together, and they're going to be together for 3 weeks within 1 degree for 3 whole weeks. Never happens. So rare, so beautiful. In March, coming up to spring equinox. So that's going to be the official rebirth into 2022. And then in the very beginning of March, Venus, Mars, and Vesta, our sacred fire, our passion and our work, our sacred spiritual passion for our sacred work. The light that never went out, this creative passion within you. It's very much fits the energy of the tiger, because we talked about how the tiger doesn't just do work. They do their passion, and that's their work, right? And that's exactly the shift we all got to move into, right? It's exactly what these squares of Chiron are saying. They're saying, are you going to bleed it out, or are you going to save that sacred juice for creation? Honor the sacred spiritual aspect of you. Like Edgar Cayce talks about like the biggest sin as going against self, right? And we have to talk about the lower self versus the highest self, right? But when we can honor this spiritual connection and feel validated in who we are in our higher spiritual mission and purpose, then that allows us to hold that value and hold that energy and treat it as sacred, right? And it's hard. Supernova souls, I know most of us feel really beat up and have very low self-worth and in pieces, right? And the energy of this astrology is about putting the pieces back together. Putting the pieces of our lives back together, putting the pieces of our psyche back together, soul retrieval. If there's a clone out there of you, set the intention that that is not in alignment with your spiritual truth, because you need your whole soul back home. Your whole soul, it's yours. Claim what's yours. That's what this tension is about right now. And that as we move forward, and all the structures that we ever give any, even the time of day to in our life, have to be in alignment with this sacred gift that you are. And so it's like we're putting back the pieces of our lives, and we're putting back the pieces of our psyche, and we're putting back the pieces of our soul, and we're putting back the pieces of our family, okay? Because this is about working together. This is a massive activation and call for soul groups, supernova souls, twin flames, soulmates, whatever is going on in your journey, the people you're here to work with. It's like this astrology is saying, okay, now we come together. And I know it's been such an isolating time, right? And the reason why it's been so isolating is because you've been fighting for your right to hold your energy. This is the Chiron, right? And Chiron in Aries. And Aries is like that energy of the tiger, of where you had to make your own choices. You had to go your own way. You had to be true to who you were. And that meant exile. And guess what? It's the exact opposite now. Being true to who you are means, magnetically, your family, your community, these souls that have not been in your life, but you've worked with for many lifetimes, and you came together from the beginning of this evolution. And if we can get out of the way and make this polarity shift because of there's so much that keeps supernova souls from each other. And it's very complicated, and we've been working on it so much. It's the basic material of the supernova soul tribe. It's like, how do we clear and receive back our soul tribe so we can get back to work on the projects we came here to do? But we have to understand that we ourselves made contractual arrangements to stay far away, because you living your truth could have put your tribe in danger. And when you were targeted during the Piscean age, that meant your whole tribe's targeted. And so we made contractual arrangements with each other and ourselves to stay away from each other, to stay safe and not put our tribe in danger. That's over now. That's over now. Actually, we should be celebrating in the streets, because you know what? All this external control and mandates and all this bullshit that's going on, that is a direct response to the ascension energies, right? Trying to block us from coming together, sharing our energy, And what that means is that we actually now do have permission. But now we have to go adjust our own permission, because inevitably, if you're going to move into your power, then you're going to feel a threat to your family and your soul tribe. And you move into your power, you can't find this fear programming, because all these contracts based on staying away from each other is based on fear of our own power. Because why are we being persecuted? Because of our power and our light, right? And so why did we stay away from each other? Because we didn't want to hurt each other. And so at the core of all of this is this programming, back to Atlantean time, of fear of our own potency and potential. And that might be what's coming up this week too with these Chiron squares, because it's like, what is the net, the grid, the block, the guardian that's keeping you from your own energy and your own body, your own vivacious life force? We should all be thriving, and we should settle for nothing less than total thriving. So this is the place that we're at. And thriving means community and working together and doing what we came here to do, right? It's like, this astrology says you can't do it alone. Sorry, supernova soul. This is a big thing I get. It's like, well, it's okay. I'm totally comfortable being by myself, and it's better that way because relationships never work out, and I just want to be by myself. It's like, no, sorry. You cannot do what you came here to do all alone. No, that's not the time we're in. This evolution is about coming back together. We can't really evolve until we claim back our tribe and our sacred work and our higher potential and our full expression and our intuitive spiritual gifts, right? Yes, we could complete our karma and leave Earth, but we're not actually complete until we come back into full expression, which includes spiritual community, partnerships, and vivacious life force. And that's who we are. And it'll be so much easier when we do come together to be this living, breathing example of vibrancy and vitality and health. It's like, you can't touch this, Screw your injections, right? It's like the vibrant, this is, and to come together, this is actually showing an alignment here with, like, when we're asking, what are these projects? What are we even doing? Who am I? What's going on here? It's like, oh, okay. Well, these we don't know exactly, but energetically, the vibration of these projects is to be that living, breathing example of full vibrancy and vitality and life, right? I mean, what if there was a demonstration community or a retreat center or something like that, where you could, people could come and just be immersed in the supernova magic and have a full and complete, harmonized and supported transition. Be like, oh, I don't have to live this way. I can see now. There's a whole different way of doing it, right? How can we do that? How can we be that living, breathing example if we're not willing to receive that for ourselves? And there we are. Therein lies the mystery and all the blocks, but we're giving full permission right now to overcome this boulder with that North Node in exact trine to Pluto. So make the most of this week of incredibly dynamic astrology. And consider on Wednesday, the 16th, probably in the afternoon, will be the, actually, when Tuesday, February 15th, because the full moon in Leo is the February 16th, but the activation will be in the afternoon on the 15th in Mountain Time. So anyway, look out for that in that next week, and use this week to your advantage to reorientate, to get into the flow, to value yourself, to vision, to expand into the spiritual truth of who you are, and explore all the structures of your life that are willing to stand up and meet you there or fall. And let's put the pieces back together, shall we? So much love to you, supernova souls. Thank you for being here and being with me. And I can't wait to see what happens as we turn the corner of this bend, of this timeline, alignment, distortion, clearing, whatever's happening. We'll see as we go. So thank you so much, supernova souls. I look forward to seeing you soon on that next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.